The station that keeps it rocking 24/7.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Grizz Biz, my 2 cents.
10 hoes in the slide, 20 thighs about to dive in. Fuck the whole vibe, put that pussy on the light switch. Big belly bitch, she committed, finna die for this. Whole body moving, this bitch lucky I made time for this. 10 freaky girls, but black men don't cheat. 10 freaky girls put they mouth on me.
yeah.
10 for the pill, made her little boat peep. A lot of heads in the hills, no sleep, no peace.
I send shots, that's your spot. Make your block.
It's the #1 station blazing the airway.
Right here, so keep it locked.
This is Grizz Biz, my 2 cents.
It's going down. Wednesday to Wednesday, we back at it. Man, oh man, oh man, it's good to see people in the building. I got my 2 co-hosts. I got a guest, Mr. Timothy, in the building. I'm waiting for others to come on in. And while we doing that, I'm going to go ahead and run these sponsors off. Let's go ahead and get them out the way. First up, we got Goodies Barbecue, 1440 Hamilton Avenue. It's always barbecue season, so go on over there and get your ribs, your rib tips, your shredded pork, your pies, whatever you need, they have it. So go on over to Goodies Barbecue, 1440 Hamilton Avenue, Mount Healthy. And when you go in there, make sure you say my 2 cents and receive 10% discount on any purchase that you have. Let's give Goodies Barbecue a round of applause. That's what's up. Next up, we got German Home Solutions for all your electrical needs. New fad is electric cars. So if you need electric car outlet put in your garage or wherever, they can do it. You need a fuse box moved, they can do it. You need ceiling fan ran, they can do it. And you can contact them at 513-266-8290, or you can get an estimate at germanhomesolutionsllc.com. You too can receive a 10% discount once you say my 2 cents. So let's give German Home Solution a round of applause. Next up, we got Drink Nation. Everybody knows that the recreational marijuana law has passed, or whatever you want to call it, is passed. The wine is still trying to buck and fight it, trying to get it to overturn, but hopefully he don't succeed in none of that. Sound like some Trump stuff, doesn't it? I don't know. Anyway, Dank Nation, go there and get all your apparel. It's a company that I'm a part of, so we got all types of designs and everything. We're getting ready for the seeds, the growing, and everything else. So we're trying to transition into that. So let's give www.danknation.co a round of applause. Thank you. You too can get 10% discount if you say 9%. Next up, we got G5 Classified. That's for all the fellas that have man weaves. Yes, I used to be part of the man weave movement. You understand me? And that product is the best product ever. And if I decide to go get a man weave again, you damn sure best believe I'll be using G14 Classified product. You know what I'm saying? You can go get them at www.polishbarbershop.com. They got real hair follicles, everything, top of the line. You too can receive a 10% discount once you say my 2 cents. Let's give G14 a round of applause. Last but not least, we got Bagman. I'm coming to see you, Bagman. I ain't forgot about you. Thanks for being patient. If you need bags, Molar bags, you need to go down here to Hop on Coleraine. They open from 11 to 7, Monday through Saturday. Sunday is appointment only. If you got the trees, you want that girl to be dressed up, because baggies just ain't getting it no more. And everybody's going to run to the daggone dispensary and find out that the weed that we getting right now from the dispensary is not the weed that we really want. They're going to put out anything and everything right now for everybody to come grab it. So it's going to take a minute for the weed to elevate. So if you're dealing with your weed, man, make sure that you got the proper bags for her. So go on down to Hopple and Coleraine and get you some bags. Let's give Bagman a round of applause. Yay. Now we got that out the way, we can get busy with the show. Man, I put this topic up. Hey, we got Mr. Howard Breeze in the building. Is that Mr. Breeze?
What up? What it do, Squirt? What it do?
There it is. There it is. So definitely, I put this. Me and Nani, we've been talking about this, and Nicola, we've been talking about this. This flat Earth versus round Earth, and I just happened to put it out there, and man, it went ham. You would think that the internet is not good for information. Don't use Google. Don't use YouTube. Don't use any of that because they feel that everything that you get on there is false. You know, they can't believe it, even if it's coming out of the individual's mouth, even if it's coming out of the Pfizer CEO's mouth, they still won't believe it. But it was some interesting topics, points that people was bringing out, and of course, when you reach out to them and say, "Hey, be a part of the show," they don't be a part of the show. They run. They get scared. And I'm telling you now. I'm telling you, Mr. Doug, Mr. Everybody that I put in there, guys, you guys all had these valid points that you wanted to make and so forth and so forth. So it looks like I'm going to have to be the devil's advocate. So, guys, I'm going to be them. And how we're going to do this is I'm just going to throw out what they was talking about, and maybe we can diffuse it and keep it going on. And second off, I want to give a shout out to me too, because right now one of the videos that I put up of Will Smith and Dwayne Martin, woo, that mug got 5.2 million views and counting. And once we leave the show today, we're going back to Tasha K because she's doing a full interview. So I'm pretty sure there's more stuff to be told. And this guy supposedly been Will Smith's friend, assistant, and so forth. So I did catch, and I'm gonna give a little sneak preview or drop a little bit of gem in that video or that interview. There's a part where Will Smith got his arm around dude and telling him that, hey, with this information, I'm about to make you famous. So I think this is a way for Will Smith to come on out without saying it and letting somebody else do the dirty work. And there it is, because it's all over. So we know he's seen it. But we'll talk about that later. Right now, we're going to talk about the round Earth and the flat Earth. And one of the things brought out, and I really want Nadia to start it off with, was with NASA. NASA is supposedly be fake. Everybody believes what they see. So what information do you have about that being fake? That's what I really wanted to touch on first, was that being fake. Do y'all believe, wait a minute, Timothy, you believe NASA is fake? Howard, you believe any of that is fake?
Fake.
Well,
Stamp.
yes. I mean, come on now. First of all, what does the Bible say? God placed the permanent, and everybody just act like the Bible didn't say that. So therefore, how can there be space when there's a firmament that enclosed us, and
Okay.
NASA knows that.
Right.
Yeah.
So they know that.
We
Okay,
can't
now
we can't leave out of here. You know.
what was the info you had? Maybe Andrew can pull it up. What was the info you had? Because I found that very interesting. Like, damn, people don't see this because it's YouTube.
What info you talking about, me?
No, Nadia, she is the pit bull when it comes to information.
I'm sorry, I thought you were still talking to our guest. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now. No, I was talking to you. I was telling him you the pit bull for information. So anytime somebody want to throw us something, sick him, get him.
Well, first off, it was a committee meeting in Broward County where they had came out and said all the lies about what NASA had put out. But you have to understand that everything in this world has some type of deception to it. So we have to use English and Hebrew to try to discern some of these type of topics. So with NASA, if you look that up in Hebrew, it means to deceive. So when you're talking about,
Say that
so
again?
if you look it up in Hebrew, it means to deceive. Nassau.
Wow. But you know what? People won't believe that Nassau is.
They can
Oh,
go
man.
use Google Translation.
They probably won't believe it. That is crazy. That is
Yeah.
that's wow.
Let me tell you the craziest part, Grizz. We have Warner von Braun. He was the creator of Nassau, right? And
Yes,
on his
ma'am, and yes, sir.
right. On his tombstone, he has the Bible verse, Psalm 19:1. And I'm going to read that for you. Just a moment. And this is what it says. Psalms 19:1. The heavens declare the glory of Yah, and the firmament showeth his handiwork. So did he not just leave the clue?
Yeah, you and these clues.
Yeah.
Clues is what I'm gonna call you.
But that's what they do. They put clues in our movies, clues in our commercials, clues in our cartoons, but we negate to look at it.
Thank you. I'm glad somebody else is starting to realize this, that since before we were born, any movie that's a box office hit it depicts either real life events or past events that has happened or will happen. Any
Right.
box office hit. And they get the top celebrities to play the roles in these movies, which if you follow Shakespeare, what was Shakespeare's main thing about acting and entertainment? Men play the women roles, women play the men roles. That's why y'all, you can go ahead, sweetheart. I don't want to get out into deep, but
Oh no,
there's a
go
reason
ahead. Go right ahead.
why all them sisters, I ain't gonna name their names, been on TV for the longest in nice movie roles, and yet, hell, a chick in the project booty is shaped bigger and better than theirs. I mean, there's a reason for that.
Wow.
I'm not saying they all are he, she's. I'm not saying that. But the majority of Hollywood is, like y'all said about Will Smith. I don't understand why anybody would be surprised. 98% of Hollywood is gay.
Oh my God.
98% of Hollywood is gay.
That right there, we're gonna touch that for another show, but
right.
That's a whole other ball game for real.
I want to piggyback off of something he said. You mentioned Shakespeare. A lot of people don't know that Shakespeare wasn't an actual man. Shakespeare was a group of people called the spear shakers who reversed the Hebrew language and created English for us to curse ourselves. And
what?
And with that being said, like I just said, they use things, they reverse it, right, to deceive. So with that being said, can anybody tell me why the world map was actually created?
I thought it was to hide.
I got the answer.
The planets, the lands are switched. Like if you go to an old map, isn't like Africa like right next to us? If you look at the old world maps, because you can get to Africa through the Grand Canyon.
Andrew, can we put that picture up of the ancient map?
Whoa.
Yes, we need the ancient map up so people can see.
Wait. Now you're losing me.
We're going to do the circle one, Andrew. The circle tan one.
Walking from the Grand Canyon to Africa. There's a lot of water between there, guy.
Nah, actually, it's real though. You do your due diligence. I know I got to link up with you, big homie. Scorpio season. My birthday Monday.
Mine is Tuesday. Mine is
a bunch of nasty.
Is it Tuesday? The 21st?
Y'all getting off.
Okay.
A bunch of nasty.
We're trying to walk to the Grand Canyon,
right,
to Africa, and I'm trying to logically figure this out. Is there some underground tunnels? that we don't know about. But
Of course. Of
no,
course.
there's no underground tunnels. See, this is where people
How could
won't stand
anything
there
be
with the ladders,
secret?
where people get to be like, y'all's tripping, and they don't believe stuff because logically, how in the hell can I've been to the Grand Canyon? How can I walk from the Grand Canyon? Maybe when they were joined together, maybe.
No, because the countries are actually closer than what we are deceiving. That's what I'm trying wanted to get to about how they made it to where we were deceived and why they did it.
Hold on, Timothy, what you think about that?
Yep.
Do you know
You ready for it, Grizz? You ready?
Timothy, what he think about it?
I think that propaganda makes people easily controlled. You know, I think when we talk about round Earth versus flat Earth, I think the biggest thing we have to answer, rather than trying to decipher the facts that we think we know with experiments, YouTube videos that we've seen, I think the biggest thing is answering the question, why? Why the lie? Everything always has to be why the lie. You know, so if we look at a globe Earth theory, right? Like let's look at both of them, not just flat Earth to try to prove flat Earth. Let's look at globe Earth, right? So if we have a globe Earth, the entire idea is everything is encapsulated in this globe. Therefore, there's no idea or possibility that there could be anything on the outside. So in theory, if we want to think with logic, that if there's this idea that there is a flat Earth, then we have to believe that there's more land, because of the way they've presented the globe theory, that there's no possibility of more land. Right. So the lie and the why would be that there's something more beyond this point. And we know through Admiral Byrd, way back, that he was set out on a mission. And then it's well documented. And the biggest problem with all this that I see is that everything I've found out is even on Google, which is a controlled search engine. So, these people that continuously try to question these things, when I say question, I mean rhetorical. If you're asleep, all your questions are rhetorical because you're not actually looking for the solution. You're not looking for the answer to the question. So the biggest thing, and I'm not a huge Bible believer, but Jesus Christ, what he did was, to his naysayers, is he asked them questions. He didn't tell them what to believe. He asked them questions. How can your eyes deceive you? So the biggest thing that we have to realize is through the methods of control and propaganda, that there is this possibility that we've been lied to, and then again, it goes to why the lie. And that's just it. The globe presents something that it's only inside of this object and there's nothing else outside. And then if we look at the firmament, even though the Bible was written 3 years after Christ, was crucified, and we can understand the level of propaganda over 100 years, never mind 300 years, when there wasn't the level of technology for people to receive it. So again, your distractions with Hollywood lines up with the Roman Empire and the fall of Jesus Christ, with gladiators. You need blood, gore, anything that's going to sell, anything that's going to gain your attention. The same thing with social media today, and all these different things that we do. It corrupts everything. It corrupts your thoughts. It corrupts your day-to-day life. It corrupts your relationships. It corrupts everything. These are all methods of control. I could literally go on and on for hours on how everything ties together in the method of control, and how they're willing to destroy and control your life. But that's the number one thing, is why.
I like Timothy. I like his answer.
He's well versed in all
Timothy,
that.
If I can piggyback off Timothy about the lie.
And be on his podcast too, his information. We'll gladly come on and talk about whatever subject does not matter. We do not care. Controversy, whatever it is, we are there. Just reach out to us and we're there. That's called networking. But okay, so one of the things you just said was why. And that was very good. But you also had a map that showed, the red one that you showed, that had all the land, the Antarctica, the behind it, but behind it you had all of the.
It's called the ancient world map.
Ancient world. Are any of you all familiar with that?
Oh yeah. If you can,
I'm pretty sure
this will tie into. Yep, and this will tie into what Timothy was saying about why lie. if you look at the ancient world map in the names of those places, what do they say? Mars,
Mars.
Jupiter, Neptune, Pluto, Saturn.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the other lands that are outside Antarctica.
Correct.
That's another reason where Timothy was saying is why the lie is because every information in the colleges, universities, in our libraries is all misinformation. If I'm correct, Timothy, everything is misinformation. Everything we've been taught is because the lie. There are no stars. There are no planets outside. No rocket goes into space. If
I
you think
got
about
y'all.
it,
It keeps you encapsulated because and again, Hollywood, this ties into it. Look at the Divergent series, the Maze Runner series.
Right.
It's the grass is greener mentality where they give you the lie and then they have to sell it. The same thing with the Great Reset. The Great Reset is they realize they've lost control, so they have to create controversy. They have to create war in order to create more control. So you submit. Problem, reaction, solution. The problem is with the globe theory is it's one of the largest things to try to disprove. Through propaganda, like there's countless things. It's impossible, especially the propaganda that's already seeded before this even was really a thing. You have to look at the NSA and the information that they gathered through social media, and all these controversies only happen because information has the ability to be shared almost instantaneously across the world to billions of people. The ability to try and shut that down is really impossible. But it took this long to get our cell phone, where a NASA spaceship was harboring the same technology in tens of thousands of times larger devices. It's we got to just start questioning things more and asking the question why, and really researching it rather than remaining rhetorical with it.
Well, I researched it, and I want to tell y'all why the deception was made. And a lot of us don't know that we have over 100 different renditions of the world map. And the reason it's called the Mercator projection. It makes some of the countries near the poles look bigger, and then the ones towards the equator smaller. Gerardus Mercator, he created the revolutionary map so that with the countries when he made it that seemed smaller, he stretched them out to make them bigger to fill up space. But the reason why they distorted it and reacted the map was to show the spread of Christianity. So what they did was, it's all the countries with majority Caucasians, they made them larger so that we could not see, basically the truth, or that was what it was supposed to be, Christianity. So, which we all know, that was a propaganda. It was just to break us all apart and stuff like that. So what they did is over 100, they made over 100 recreations of the map to confuse. So, but the biggest question that I ask, like round earthers and people who believe in that, is the ice wall. And a lot of people say it's not an ice wall, but where does the Antarctic Treaty come from then? So if any of
treaty.
Yeah, so if any of you guys can give some insight on the Antarctic Treaty and the ice wall, because we have pictures, like you were saying before, that it's more landmass outside. If Andrew can put up those round circles, with all the planets, landmass, aka planets.
He's trying to get somebody in. He's trying to get the honorable Uber in.
Okay.
He's well. He got it too. Andrew on it today. Let's give him.
No, we need
a round of applause, brother.
Right.
He it in today. Yeah. So
right.
Wow. Of course, no one's here to refutate or back what they were saying on the dialogue today. And I don't know how well versed either three of you are with the gravitation. Now I've heard so many things about the gravitational pull. I mean, at work, my buddies at work, they think I'm nuts because I'm leaning towards flat Earth, and all of them have their examples. And my good buddy Patrick from the job, he was stating that, Paul, you got to realize the gravitational pull is pulling you to the middle of the Earth. I'm being funny, but that's what I was getting from it. I was trying to figure this out. So I'm saying if the world is of sphere and Australia's down here and South, whatever is it, Antarctica, whatever is down here, then logically I should be upside down. But I was told,
Right.
oh, you got the gravitational pull of the Earth that's pulling
That's
you.
how everything will be. You see that?
And that's not the way it is.
Never. You don't see a plane do a nosedive.
Oh
Or
man, we was told the scientists, everything that they do is fact. Did you study physics in school? We even had a guy on St. James, Mr. James, referring to because he works with satellites and saying that
Right.
it's real. And man, he was very adamant about seeing Venus. Now he put up a picture that he could see Venus. I saw a book with a Venus in it, but as I was looking at the book over here and looking at the sky over here, I was trying to see Venus, but I couldn't see
Mercury
Venus.
and Venus. It's
Yeah,
two planets.
one of them. And I looked today when I went outside to look at the sun, and I looked in all directions. I said, well, maybe I'm missing it. Let me look this way, and this way. And I didn't see none of it. So then I thought, well, maybe I need a telescope to see. But why would I need a telescope to see when I can see the sun big as day? And then someone said, well, those are small planets, so you can't see them. But I can see the moon. Are they bigger than the moon? So I don't know. What's your intake on the gravity theory?
Anybody want to take it? Or
yeah, I'll take it.
Okay. Go ahead, Timothy.
So let's just think about it for a second, right? With gravity, right? Everything pulls towards the center. Okay. So we have to think about mass for a second. You know, you have something that weighs more, it's going to take more pull power to keep it in its place as something else. So with water, if we're thinking over a mile, there's, what do they say, 5 to 8 inches of curvature? You know, so with that, think of how many billions and trillions of ridiculous amount of gallons of water that have to be curved to be held to a center. So with that type of pull that it takes to pull that amount of mass to the center and keep it in a curvature, it's impossible. Everything else on planet Earth at level sits level. You know, it's bananas. You know, it's the constant, anything that's constant, just like practicing football, just like practicing drawing. If you do it over a period of time, you start to get better at it. You know, and the same thing with propaganda. The more you put it in, the more different avenues that you put it in, and we have more than ever, especially with social media. You know, you put this propaganda in there, and then you don't have to push it yourself. Everybody else is pushing it onto other people. Now, if you don't have strong-minded people who are willing to call out other people and then provide logic or data, facts, whatever the case may be, you're not. And now we have to look at, is that person even objective? So you can have the conversation. If they're not even in tune or they're not objective, then you have no ability to give them any information, and now you're just wasting your time. You know, this is what I tell a lot of people when it comes to conspiracy theories. Don't waste your time on the people who are closed off, that are willing to just argue their point. You know, find somebody who's willing to objectively listen and start to ask questions versus just give, you know, their rebuttal.
Yeah,
I like that. Right. I want to piggyback off of that. When, like, with the gravitational pull, and like you were saying, it has to do with weight, mass, and stuff like that. If that was the case, and we're doing this gravitational pull, wouldn't some of our children be doing the centipede? Like, it'll snatch us towards the ground. So I don't understand. Buildings weigh different, cars weigh different, we weigh different. So how can we all equal the same type of energy to pull us towards a center?
Wow, I didn't think of that.
100%. 100%. Because the weight of a car versus the weight of a person, and I understand, kind of the difference in relativity in that. It just like moving in a car, you know what I mean? You're moving at 50 miles an hour, so is the vehicle and everything else inside the vehicle. But once it stops, but I think we have to look at logic and really just start to think about the differences in this. Feather versus ton of bricks. There's all those little riddles that people, what weighs more? It's like people can't even answer that question because they just look at the brick as heavier.
Right.
So now you want to get in the same argument with me about water being able to stick to curvature over miles and trillions of gallons. But you can't even decipher 1,000 pounds of feathers is the same as 1,000 pounds of bricks. Your mind cannot go to that second level of thinking.
I'm about to tell you guys that the Earth, the sun's magnitude, the gravitational pull is so strong that it does that.
So still the question remains, if everything is a different weight, how can, like I said, if that was the case, then we'll all be pulled towards the sun. We would be able to reel it in. It's leaves out here that weighs less than us, and where do they fall? To the ground. Not up.
Anything that is that perfect over repetition was created. There's anomalous scenarios where they talked about computer systems being able to gauge this and that. Well, the thing is the computers can only go to a certain limit, that the parameters are set by the creator. And what they found is there's the speed of light. You can only go so fast. You cannot reach beyond a certain point. So if there's limits, then we have to believe, or at least we have to use logic to see that maybe it's not what they say it is. Because if we have limits in our universe and they're telling us that we don't, then let's start questioning what those limits are and why they're there.
Right.
Well,
because I want to put some math.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Well, with the gravitational pull, you all make good, valid points, but we have to remember one thing. We live in simulations. So it's kind of hard for a gravitational pull, if it's such one, to have its effect at its highest if we're constantly in simulations, if that makes sense.
What do you mean simulation?
Right.
Remember the movie? Okay. Timothy, you should know. You might know what I'm talking about. About we live in a simulation, like the world. Like if you look
100%.
at, yeah.
Oh, yeah, we need to get on that level. He popped in, it was like 100%. Wake up, guys. Wake up.
I got something.
I've heard of the simulation. I'm just not.
Touch on it, Timothy, because you're probably more elaborate than I am right now because I'm high. But touch on it. But,
hey, I'm high too. We're good.
But let me start it off though.
That's the only way you can have this conversation.
Remember the Spider-Man, and Timothy can take it from there. Just watch the newer versions of the Spider-Man movies. That shows you simulation.
That part.
Look at the NBA football game. Look at our sports on TV. That's simulation at its best.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So I think, all right. I'll play off of that.
Right. So I'm ready to play too.
Back to Hollywood, right? Back to Hollywood. Everybody thinks the Matrix, this and that, and then the conspiracy theorists like, oh, this is where we're headed, right? So you can't think that way because we think where we're at now, not later. We can't think about it, just as though they can't think about like, oh, we never realized we could have had these guns 200 years after the revolution. No, we're firing just barely more advanced firearms than they had back then. So the simulation factor, along with Hollywood, the Matrix, and all these other movies, is it gets you to believe a certain way, just like the Titanic and the start of the Federal Reserve System. They try to ingrate it in your brain. And I like to relate this to all the police movies that we watch. What do they always do when they catch a perpetrator? They read you your rights, right? But right after, every single person in TV and movies, they all say they understand their rights, but then they're crying in the corner, releasing all the information of the crimes they committed. So this is the propaganda to get you believe that's the way it is. And the same thing with the Matrix movies and the things like that. Look at Meta. Look at Meta. Look at the way people are so ingrained in social media. You don't believe that people would love to just be asleep? Like before social media and then Meta and virtual reality, you know, people were enjoying their dreams. People were trying to decipher dreams. Now people want to remain in the perpetual state of dopamine fixes. And then if they can create that in a virtual world like video games, that's why your girlfriend can't get you off the video games, because you're stuck in such a dopamine fix and interaction with other people that, you know, her attention doesn't mean anything anymore. You know what I mean? Like, so yeah. Oh, it's all tied together. Hollywood, social media, it's all mechanisms of control. Football, like you said, you know, football, it's another gladiator event to provide you another distraction. Not only a distraction, but a distraction you're spending money on. And now you're idolizing people. You know, and again, I'm not a man of God, but idolizing people leads you down a road that you don't want to be at, because then you're not yourself anymore. You're following somebody else. You know, and that's a path to destruction, because, you know, innately we want to do certain things, and if we follow other people because it seems cool or the right thing to do, groupthink, you know, that's what we do. And propaganda, like I said before, it can be perpetuated by the media and this, that, and the social media. But the thing is, it's your friends and your family. If you can't stand up to your friends and family and have that conversation, you know, cordially, to where they can understand you. But the problem is, like I said before, if they're not objective, their ears aren't even open to listen. You know, they're just going to pacify you, you know, because they would feel bad otherwise, you know, but nobody wants to think about this, because guess what? They got to go to work in the morning, because the government created that, you know. So again, this other distraction, you know, and again, I can tie it all together. We talked about Hollywood. We talked about Hugh Hefner, the destruction of the nuclear family. Like these are all just things they've done to destroy society. And what happens? Now everybody's divided. The nuclear family's broken, separated children, separated families. You know, you're the 2.5 kids, a dog, a white picket fence, and a house. You know, you're not passing your house down to your family members for generational wealth with no payments. Now they've made you believe you have to leave because you need your privacy and all these other things. And now they've created more industry, more spending, more control.
Yes. I like Timothy. And meta in Hebrew means death.
Meta in Hebrew means death.
Yes.
Hey, man, it's too much. I know you talk to me, you know, a man of God, but you dropping godly stuff here, and all this ties into that book.
It does.
But we ain't gonna get into the book. But
can I jump in? Can I jump in?
Right. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm talking about
so, like I said before, all right, go ahead. Sorry.
Well, y'all talking about the book, the Bible.
Well,
yes.
We ain't gonna get into that, because I know y'all got. I was just making jokey. I'm just saying both of y'all they got issues with the book, but definitely the book has some type of play in your lives. We're just gonna leave that alone, because you might not say you're a godly man, but you're speaking godly things right now.
I can tell you. I can tell you.
Go ahead. Let's go ahead. Go ahead. Jump.
What it is. Let's just get it on. Let's just call the elephant in the room. Who made more money off people throughout this whole lifetime? The Bible and Jesus Christ. Am I correct? So back to what you said, Timothy, everything ties into Hollywood. You notice we got more movies on Jesus Christ than we do about missing kids, but we ain't gonna touch that, Grizz. They may shut down your podcast. But
I got the answer for that one.
I'll turn into Boozy and come up with another name, or have some.
I got the answer to that one.
You got me hyped, ready to go. Let's get it going.
Well, I just want to tell you, because the reason why Jesus was promoted and prompted in Hollywood is because that was never the Savior's name. Jesus in Greek, that's a Greek name. So how could that be of the Messiah, the Mashiach, I must say? So his name is Yahusha. It was never Jesus. So the greatest deception of all time, but this was be another topic, because we was going to get to that. But the greatest deception of all time was to keep the true Israelite children away from the Father due to them putting the same image of the man that enslaved them, the man that beat them, the man that still to this day holds you down. It's the picture of the man that we supposed to hate.
Dig this.
So that's the reason why.
All right. So what are you? I'm anxious to hear you two, because what she's spitting is real, but I want what she spitted tied into what you two about to say. Oh Lord, let's give a round of applause for the Honorable October in the house. You know what I'm talking about? There's another person who's very knowledgeable on all this subject. How you doing, my brother? Can you hear us?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what's up.
What's happening with you, man?
Already. So Timothy and Howard, and I know you about the let us have it about the Bible. So Timothy, go ahead and start us off.
Like I said before and earlier, the Bible, as far as I'm concerned, and anybody can correct me, it was written 300 years after Jesus was crucified. So we have to believe in that amount of time that the Romans, when they crucified him, they needed him to go away. I'll go with this for now. They needed him to go away because there was too much good in that. It was changing the way people were thinking. He was the one that would challenge the evil. But then we look into numerology and we look at 33 years old. We look at every god on this planet was 33 years old when they died. All these numbers, it goes back to the Illuminati, it goes back to everything. But we have to look at this as a method of control. Religion is a method of control. They want to help starving children. They want to do all this and that. But why are we building multi-million-dollar churches? Why are we asking regular people for money that are already strapped to the nines? How are they building them? Where is this coming from? And then we have to look at, well, everything in God is supposed to be so righteous. Well, how come predominantly, a lot of priests are pedophiles? So the people who are preaching the word of God are the worst offenders. And they're the hypocrites. And this is why I've questioned religion, is because all the people who profess to you that you should be doing this and that are getting angry at you because you're not doing it. Now, if we look at the teachings of Jesus, he ain't getting angry at you. He's just telling you, and it's your choice, right? It's free will, because that's what he died for. But that's the logic that people can't find, is that the reason he died was free will, but then they want to say faith. Oh, you can't get away from faith. God has a plan. Well, God had a plan. It was called free choice. So which is it? The hypocrisies that get laid out by people who are religious believers. I'm sorry, I can't believe you. I really want to. I believe in some sort of divine, because there's no way that this intellectual of beings with this thought process can create such things without something.
Exactly.
But it goes back to, are we in a matrix? If a world's so perfect that has limits, it has to be a computer simulation. And I'm providing logic and questions. I'm not saying definitively what it is, because honestly, I don't have enough information to form an opinion. I'm just looking to question and make people think.
So
yes, you do. You got all the information been in front of
y'all
the whole life.
You both, all y'all said the book is written 300 years after Christ, and y'all instantly went to religion, which I understand because I no longer belong to a religion. But that book and how you decipher it lays everything out. So by y'all saying and bringing up the point that it's 300 years after Jesus, do you believe that Jesus is a real person? And when you said free choice, that was a challenge between good and evil. That is, from my understanding, that was the whole challenge and why we're going through what we're going through right now, because this certain entity challenged the Omega, the Elohim, challenged him and said, hey, if we have free will, they could serve me or do whatever the challenge. I'm word for word. Y'all, I think y'all get the gist of what I'm saying. So the way I was explained to it, like if the creator had X'd the devil off right then and there, then all of those angels would have seen that and been like, oh, well, maybe the devil's right. So the Almighty and all-knowing broke it down and said, hey, I'm going to go ahead and let you have your free will, do whatever, and this is how it's gonna play out. Boom, 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 boom. I ain't gonna get into detail and all that, but that's general the basics. So with that analogy, how does that fit into the Bible being real or fake, or Jesus being real or fake, and so many gods? Like he said, 33. Jesus in that Bible was never claimed he was God. Never claimed that he was God. There's so many examples in that book that state, hey, this is my son, or him talking to the evil one like, hey, man, if I wanted all this, all I got to do is do this, blah, 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 blah. And to the dude on the stake, like, hey, man, if I wanted to, I'll call my daddy down here and we'll wipe this whole thing out. But I know my purpose. Since I'm of pureness, I know what I got to do. I know what has to be done. So I don't know where y'all fit in with that. That's just what I would, you know.
Well, I say this. I'm gonna speak real quick and everything. Um, I always said that as I got older and mature, the Bible was the world's greatest science fiction novel ever written. But that's a different talk. Second, we talk about the number 33, right? And Timothy, you probably know about this too. If you go back to every major celebrity's death, that was always weird and suspicious. It happened on the 33rd parallel of wherever that location was. To answer y'all question about number 33, which is a high Freemasonry number. Correct, Timothy?
Yeah, I know that's a high. I
Yes,
know that.
yep,
I know that.
100%.
100. Yeah, I know that 100%. Yeah, and that's what trips me out about a lot of Masons who are in that organization are really just foot soldiers and don't know or don't want to go to those other levels because those other levels and stuff. There's other levels.
Comprehend what I just said, you all. The number 33, Jesus, number 33, right? Was 33, I believe, right? Every major celebrity death or hoax or whatever, I still think they all hoaxes. So just to, like you said, a distraction, create an entertainment to keep us off the focus of what's really going on. But every major celebrity death, and we can go back to the Superman, Emmett Till, everybody. It was on the 33rd parallel. And if that ties into the Bible of Jesus at 33, that lets you know right there about the Bible. Yes, it's some true beacons in it, like Revelations. I always said out of everything, Revelations was probably the truth of the Bible. Because what's Revelation speaking on, a lot of it is happening now. I don't think that can be up for debate.
So with Revelations, and Revelations is a game changer in the game in the world where we saying, okay, everybody asking why. So if we believe in the higher power, if there's got to be an end game, there's got to be a reason why, like you said, the land beyond Antarctica is planets or whatever, and what is the reason why? And if Revelation is coming to fruition, then that solidifies what we were saying, what I was saying earlier about God and the plan. And Revelation and the plan is laid out in Revelations.
Whether that was spoken to be said by a god or whatever, but that was plotted by a group of men and it just was passed down and reimaged and renovated throughout the decades and centuries.
But what's the end
We
game?
don't
I
really
hear
know.
what you're saying, but what's the end game? If Revelations is something that you sit there and you believe and you see it happening and for it out as we speak, in Revelations, it tells you the end game. It tells you the end game. It tells you the end game for real. If you got to read the whole thing, go ahead. Somebody
You know
speak.
what?
What?
You know what? I think what we're not looking at when it comes to like the Bible and specifically the book of Revelations, we talking about first and foremost, a book composed of like a bunch of other books from other cultures, broken down, translated, you know, some things moved around, whatever, and put into an biblios. Now, as far as the book of Revelation, I'll say this. When I take like something like the book of Revelation, and which is, as I like to say, it's an allegory, is because I'll put it like this. Anybody right now can write a book, can write a blog, can write a poem, can make a song, and you can say what you think is going to happen off of what you see going on right now and what you think is going to happen from this point forward. And you might be spot on. And so I'm not saying that I discredit the book of Revelation. No, not at all. But what I'm saying is, I think we put too much stress and like and importance on looking at the book of Revelations, when it's like, if you want to talk about an simulation, so to speak, if we're living in a simulation, quote unquote, then you would have to look at whomever wrote the Bible, or the book of Revelations to be specific. Whomever wrote the book of like Revelations would have to be advanced enough to have a foresight in this simulation that they could see to points forward. So what I'm getting at is this, is that right now, what we're doing, we're writing our own Bible, so to speak, with everything that's like going on right now. And with the way that we're using our minds in a collective to where we're not going along with like the official narrative. I'm sorry that I couldn't make it in earlier because I love the like conversation about flat Earth. I wish I could have got into that earlier because y'all hit all the points I want to make.
We still on it. I'm playing the devil's advocate because we made a post about it, and the people that were so adamant about what they believe to be true, I invited them on here. So I'm being them right now. And since you want to jump right back on that, let's go ahead. And what about the pilots who say that supposedly believe the Earth is round too? How can
Okay, I'll put it like this. Any pilot, I'll go on record for this. Any pilot who tells you that the Earth is round is not just a lie, he's a goddamn lie. Because you know what? I've talked to pilots. I've talked to people who build railroads. I've talked to conductors. I've talked to people who do large scale landscaping. I've talked to geologists. I've talked to all different type of people. Nobody tells me within their field of study that there's anywhere that they have to make any type of like
curve,
that they have to make any type of accommodations for like curvature. Everything is about planes. That's the reason I tell people, it's like, for real, this language, this English language, we weave spells with everything we say. And some things are like more direct than others. And some just show you how much of a spell we're under. We fly in vehicles called airplanes. meaning that they're flying in the air across a plane, not across a sphere. And this is what I think a lot of people don't. I'm just using just basics. I don't even have to go deep, just basics. And when people say that they're circumnavigating the globe, no, you're not circumnavigating a globe. You're circumnavigating a circle that you're stuck in. You're stuck in a circle, and they even have perimeters within this circle, this ice wall, this circle that has openings that within certain points of the year, they can pass through these openings. And this is what they don't tell the general public. This is why with the Antarctica treaty, which is the longest standing treaty in history between everybody on Earth, this is why that's the biggest secret, is cause something I want to throw in here real quick. When we talk about planets, listen to me. First of all, they can't leave here. There's the firmament. They can't leave here. Your scriptures tell you about it. Science even tells you about it. And they even trip up sometimes and double talk. You'll hear them tell you about how they can go through the Van Allen belt. And then you'll hear them say that they can't make it through the Van Allen belt. Man, the Van Allen belt is just a fictitious little shit that they came up with, and they've never had anything pass through this firmament. Nothing has ever passed through it. That's why whenever I always tell people, when you watch rockets take off, you've never seen a rocket go directly up and out anywhere. I've had, a challenge. I give anybody, $1,000 if you show me a rocket going straight up and penetrating, leaving out, going into an alternate atmosphere that's called outer space, that was made up by Warner von Braun and Walt Disney.
So let's stop. You and Nadia, all three of y'all all on the same. Let's give them a round of applause. Can we give these three individuals a round of applause, because they all got the same information and saying the same thing. So my question was, so when I look outside and I look at a telescope, what am I looking at? When I can point to this light or star in it right there, that's not space. What is that?
Okay, let me tell you this. All right, then let me say this real quick before anybody else jump in. Real quick. You've been you're told that you live on a globe that's spinning, and you're moving through space, spinning, and your galaxy is spinning, and the universe is spinning. This is going millions and millions of miles an hour, all the way down to 1,500 miles an hour. You feel none of this. You see no evidence of none of this, and you're supposed to be moving. Yet, if you go all the way back through time, just anywhere back through any ancient cultures, they all use the same basic star patterns that you see right now when you look up in the sky. And you can look at the North Star, or the star in the middle of the sky. It's been there forever. If you were moving, that would mean that your entire galaxy would have to be moving with you in order for you to keep seeing the same shit in the sky. You see it, your mama seen it, your grandmama seen it, your great-great-grandmama seen it, everybody seen it all the way back. And guess what? When we dead and gone, our kids, millions of years in the future, will see the same damn thing. So you're not.
What is it though?
Anyway.
What is it though? If it's a firmament, whatever that word is there, what am I looking at if that's not space?
Water. You saw it in the Simpsons episode where they had the baseball game and they cracked the ceiling and the water fell in the stadium.
Thank you.
He separated the waters above from the waters below.
And you know
but
what
I
else?
want to piggyback off of what you said. I'm gonna give you.
Okay. Now this is where
I got.
this is where the people that posted today, I'm in their mind frame right now because I was with you. I was with y'all, and then he said water. So that same speck of water, the same light is the same. So those specks of light or water that we're looking at, the North Star is water.
Hold up. I'm gonna tell you this. I'll say this. In your same Bible that has that book of Revelations, this is your Bible that everybody loves and believes. It talks about how the Most High separated the waters from the waters, and he created a firmament to do so. Now, when I tell you this, they took off the Nikon Coolpix P900 telescope. They eradicated it because you were able to take this telescope, zoom in on stars, and you're not seeing these big ass marbles, these damn CGI marbles that, you know what I'm saying, NASA has been like showing us forever. Nah, you seeing what it looks like when you in a swimming pool and you drop some change in the pool like or something, or you seeing like lights on the bottom of the pool, like you, like if you've been at like somebody's
A reflection.
It's reflection. So what I'm saying is you're looking up. Oh, and to put this in, there's a scientist, he was killed. He went down to the bottom of the ocean. And what did he come across? He came across a whole nother ocean of water so dense that he couldn't go into it, which these are different levels of density. This is why we live on. When I tell people, when they say, well, the water makes no sense, you're breathing water right now. You're breathing air. You're basically breathing water mist. So when you go into the water, like I said, into the actual water, then it's like you have to hold your breath because you can't take in that much water mist at the same time. But when you come out, you cool. These waters that's separated, that's above us. What does it say? As above, so below.
So below.
Found an ocean that was down there that he couldn't penetrate. There's waters that's below you. It's all about water, man. That's the reason that you keep seeing this predictive programming in the media. Everything is about water. Songs are about water. Everything is about water. You had Avatar, The Ways of the Water. Everything is about water because water is the way out and the way in.
And also, Grizz, you asked about the North Star, correct?
Yes. So that's a reflection.
Okay. What it is you remember they destroyed the Georgia Guidestones? Okay. The reason being is because the Georgia Guidestone has a hole right in the middle of it, of the center of the Guidestone.
Up of me, that devil stuff.
Okay, so what it does is that through that hole, you can see the star of Polaris, the North Star. So what he was saying of us spinning, how can we be spinning 66,600 miles per hour? And that star still remains the same every day for 400 years.
If it's not a star, why do y'all continue to say star? Like, I'm not going to call myself black anymore. I'm not black. I'm in.
Well, that's what they call it.
I'm calling it in the need. What's the word? You know what I'm trying to talk about.
Indigenous.
I'm high. I'm indigenous.
R9 being.
Person. But
R9 ether being.
Right.
That too. I'm gonna put that on my next job application. I don't need another job. But anyway, so one more time now. When I look up in the sky, I'm looking at water that's been held in place for years, centuries, or since God decided I'm gonna do this. So we're looking at reflection of the sun hitting the water at the same spot all the time. and it's not a star, is what we're saying, right?
Okay, all right. I'm gonna say this. Since you brought up the sun, the good old sun and the moon. First off, man, let's go ahead and let's use our common sense all the way. Let's go back to being quote unquote God's children. When you were a child, you used to think vivid. You thought in your right mind. As you got older, you became vague because you were given your basic operating system, your religion, your school, everything else, your principles, morals, all of that. A lot of that stuff swayed how you should think common sense wise. So I say this, you've been looking up at the sun since you were a baby, an infant. You've been looking at the sun. Now you've been looking at that same sun, and it never once to you looked any further than the moon is. Not for real. It never once really looked far out there. They told you that the sun was far out there, 93 million miles away. My common sense always told me, why the hell ain't it lighting up the whole goddamn galaxy then? But that's another story. But then it's like, if it's 93 million miles away and I can live in Cincinnati where it can be all 4 seasons in one day, why can I take a flight down to like Dallas and it be hot as hell in Dallas and it be like, oh, that's because of the equator, so-and-so, this, and that. I'm like, everything they tell you about how the sun is positioned makes no sense if you're thinking that it's 93 million miles away. Man, the sun is like local. The sun is close and it's not that big. It's about like 35 miles across. It's not that big. And it's more in holographic light, because they even have videos. You can go right on YouTube and you can see pilots flying over clouds where the sun is inside of these clouds. These videos were, man, they tried to like scrub these videos some years ago, but people kept putting them back up. It's because when I say everything, see, what's happened to us is that we'll say, oh man, they lied about this and they lied about that and they lied about that. Why wouldn't they lie about everything if you have folks who have common sense like me that's screaming at me, telling me that the sun is a lot closer, the moon is a lot closer, and they're not physical places, so nobody has been to either one of them. All of this has been a perpetual game on society. It's no different than when you had War of the Worlds played on the radio and people really thought that you had Martians coming to Earth and killing folks and everything. They do this every day they give us a small dose of this, just telling us about space and telling us about these aliens and telling us about all of that. There are no planets out there. Your planets are actually planes of just, it's extra territory that's outside of our circle that we're stuck in. That's all that is. Everything is a lie. Everything is all where your common sense has always been taking you back to knowing that you're not moving, you're sitting flat, and there's a whole lot more for you to go out and find. Every ancient talked about it.
So after figuring all this out, so I'm assuming I'm going to go with the Earth is flat. I'm just going to go with that because I'm just going to go with that is on a simple fact from what you guys just said. The main thing about what's killing it for me is the firmament. We don't know what that's made of or what that is, but like you said, and I'm gonna do this challenge too, man. Show us a video of the rockets busting through there. We always see in movies and so forth, they got the extra shielding, this, that, and the third, and it breaks off. They show it going through the firmament, but
in movies.
in movies.
In movies. And that's the whole thing. That's the reason, like I said, man, our basic operating system is Hollywood.
But not only that, when they do that, look at the scenery. Why don't you see any stars in any of these films? Because they're in a studio.
And I'm gonna tell you something else. And the thing is this: I'm gonna tell you something else. I used to always trip off this. Like when we see, okay, I always tell people this, and folks get mad at me over this. I said, it's the year 2023, 2024. We look back at stuff from the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2010, 2014. And we can pull out fakery. So when we start looking back, and we look at the moon landing, we look at a bunch of other stuff, I question everything, man. I'm to the point now where it's like, if they showed it in any type of mainstream media, I can find some type of hoax in it. I'm on 24-hour auto hoax, man, until they can prove otherwise.
Just like with oxygen. How can they have an oxygen tank that takes you to space that lasts 22 hours, but here that the tank that we carry around and these people got to breathe only lasts a good hour?
Because the pressure,
the
pressure in the oceans is stronger than the gravitational pull from the moon.
Hold up, I got another question.
When you go out,
you making up stuff.
I got another question. I want to know what phone service the president was on when he used that green landline phone and he called them niggas on the moon. Cause I can ride down Coleraine Avenue and my call drop.
Right.
But you say who you calling?
With a green landline phone, like my grandma had, and he got through with perfect service. Like I want to know who he had.
But you can look at any of those astronaut videos, and I always tell people, look at continuity. Don't look at the characters. Look at the continuity. I see one landing where everybody floating around, but I look over here on the right on the desk, and it's a cup of water sitting there. Why wasn't that cup of water floating?
Hey, baby.
And you know what else? Nobody ever really thought of until who the hell took all the pictures?
That part. And they far away.
When
somebody had to hold the camera.
I used to get kicked out of class for asking questions like that. Who took the picture? Mr. Holloman, you can leave class. What you mean I can leave? I don't know. Who was already there with a camera? And what kind of camera did he have? Like I asked that same question.
He had a Nikon 22. Look.
And you know what? Knowing they always show us those atomic bombs blowing up, and they show the landscape blowing back. What kind of camera were they using?
That part. I was telling Grizz the other day about the survival actors that they have too. A lot of these things that we see that we thought was true was actually just a reenactment or somebody acting, trying to make us believe it. Like, I'm sorry to say, the war that's going on right now. Because ask yourself, people, why are they over here protesting? Why didn't they protest in their country? Why are you protesting in the country where the people are supposed to be helping you? And you're asking for all this freedom and all this other stuff in another freaking country that you're not from. Pay attention. Not only that, look on top of all these colleges, all these big masonry buildings. How did they flag get up there? They Spider-Man the building?
Right.
Pay attention. It's all, like you said, propaganda to get your mind. That's why, I'm sorry, this is why the Will Smith thing is on the table. It's because what y'all do is everybody latches on to that. I'm sorry, Will Smith and Dwayne Wade whatever his name is, came out years ago when Lisa Ray dropped that on her podcast. So why are we talking about it now? It's because it'll keep you off what's really good and what's about to happen, because everybody forgot that the government shutdown was only open for an extra 45 days.
Hold on, ma'am. Don't you be crapping on my 5.2 million
You
views.
said you were supposed to do the pecan. You got to do that.
You don't be messing about my 5.2 million views. I ain't never had that happen before. You know what I'm talking about? I'm trying to use that thing, capitalize off this destruction before whatever happens. Can I get my weight up just a little bit?
Hey,
you know what I'm talking about?
Hey,
I'm not saying anything. I'm not saying that something will happen, but you got to understand what's happening now. Like I told you the other day, they were sitting up here protesting at my son's school, Barack Obama Academy, right here in Georgia, right here on our streets. So what I'm saying to you is that everything that they put out in this world, they want you to think something other than what is actually being done. Because again, where is Israel? Israel was never a place. Israel was a group of people.
Right. Thank you.
Thank you. Y'all going way off. Y'all not way
No,
off.
we ain't.
I know you ain't. Everything is tied in.
No, we ain't.
I know you ain't. I know you ain't. You're tying everything in. Like y'all said, everything Grizz, everything fits together like a puzzle, and the outcome. But
like the world map.
Okay, Grizz, look at this. Okay, Grizz, look at this. The fact that we have so much propaganda, right? We have what's called the Smith-Mundt Act. And the Smith-Mundt Act, Obama, he revised it. It basically says that the government can use propaganda to sway the people. So they can just make up stuff.
That? I mean, cut you off. Timothy was talking about that. Remember on the last, when y'all two was on here before?
They can make fake events.
Yeah.
They can make fake events.
Wow.
Well, they've been doing that though. They've been doing that for.
Look, I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna say this politely. I'm gonna say this politely, without saying too much. I'll put it like this, and I'll go out on a limb and take the hit for this. Everything you've seen on television, everything, 100%, 100%. Of everything you've seen on television that they've told you was some type of big event, it was staged. Everything that people have ever shown me, I've gone back and I've found where you can see where something ain't right. Whether you talking about these celebrity murders or you talking about, just big events, shootings, whatever. Something always ain't right. And then it's like everything
the majority of them are hoaxes.
Oh yeah, it's all hoaxes. But that's the point I'm getting at. These hoaxes are done as part of a big metascript. A metascript that's more like I went back to when I was talking about War of the Worlds, when Orwell and War, of the Worlds. It's like when that came out over radio, it scared everybody in public and people panicked. They went out to the country. They was trying to leave the cities, everything. They do this every day in a more subtle manner with the internet. And with the education system and with religion. This is, like I said, you in the computers and everything. This is our basic operating system. Everything we've learned. So this is how. So this is why you'll get somebody like me, her, you, like a couple other folks. We get it, but other folks, their information has not been updated yet into being able to process something that's other than what they've always been given. So people get stuck. Don't nobody want to be the one to say, man, I kind of think the dude making a point, because then you feel singled out if you don't go along with the whole consensus. Me, I just don't care, I don't think like nobody else. You know what I'm saying? I was a free nigga.
What you say? I was a free one. That's right. Me neither, baby.
Right.
Who cares?
Right. Right. Yep.
That
Pretty
part.
much basically it. Mm-hmm.
I think we have
Like I said before.
the flat Earth versus round Earth, and it's just like what you just said. You have to have the common sense and the openness of a mind, free mind, to be able to think outside the box, think about what they done told you. And I say one person that I have blocked told me that, and I'm not a hater, but I don't deal with hating people. But I do learn what I can from everybody, and this ninja told me this, and said, Grizz, you're gonna have to change the way you perceive everything. Everything that you was taught, you got to reverse it. And I lightweight was already there with my discernment and so forth, but being around folks like yourself and then connecting the dots and everything, and what I've already known, like, yeah, I do. It makes a whole lot more sense now. Like, that's why this is this and that is the way this is. So, Nadia made a good point. I think we all have the power of discernment because, believe it or not, that book, 300 years or whatever, gave us some game. You know what I'm saying? Even though those who have written it 3 or 4 million times before, changed this, left this out, now this, that, and the third out, I believe the creator put that power in us to be able to, you know what I'm saying, discern and to warn people, because doing this is cool that we connecting the dots. And I tell Nadia this all the time. With me personally, she's a go-getter, y'all go-getters, and y'all will dig really deeply. I'm one of them mugs, like, it don't take a rocket scientist to know to get hit, that running in front of a Mack truck hurts. So when you guys dig and find the information that you do, I'm all with it. But my end game is, okay, now that we know, we believe, we know, I ain't gonna say we know, and YouTube or whatever could get mad, I don't give a shit. We know the earth is flat. I know the earth is flat. I truly believe the earth is flat. Just from hearing both sides of the coin. You know what I'm saying? And I will lead more towards the truth than the negative, because when you Google flat earth or put it into any search engine on any YouTube or whatever, there is damn near nothing supporting flat earth. Everything is against it. I don't think I could find maybe 2 videos on there about supporting flat earth. Everything was punted in the face. You question that. I'm like, why? Why? If this is, why is they trying to beat this down so bad?
Why did Obama speak about it?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Well,
why was it that important?
It's the same reason why we still talking about Trump, and he ain't been president in almost 3.5 years.
Exactly.
See, I realize the same thing, right?
I'm gonna tell you something.
That is a long time, ain't it?
I tried to tell somebody this.
And that man's still in our mouth.
Hey, look, it's a book. It's a book that's called Donald Trump, the Last American President. And what the book basically alludes to is, after Donald Trump, pretty much everybody after him is going to be completely 100% scripted. Like we're looking at Biden right now with the prosthetic mask, whomever planning, Jim Carrey, whomever. Know what I'm saying? We're looking at him. We're looking at Biden being like green screened in the places he's not being. We're looking at the way AI technology has grown with the deep fakes. First, it started with people making these fake porn videos where they were putting celebrity faces on the people, saying it was those folks, and then it went to where, think about it, you can actually take someone's face, like I told somebody with the Reface app. you could put your face in a music video and it looks like, you know what I'm saying, you're dancing. Well, what happens when somebody takes some type of crime footage and they put your face and your likeness on an AI deep fake that can actually make you look three-dimensional, show all the contours of, you know what I'm saying, your face. I was telling everybody the biggest crime that's going to be going on in the world, extortion.
Yeah, because AI has already started with getting like people arrested, and they're actually not the suspect that they're looking for because of what you just explained. They're doing
And you know what else? And you know what else? I was listening to a conversation with some people. Some folks were having a conversation with a couple like AI systems.
Mm.
And the AI systems have now learned camaraderie.
Mm-hmm.
Like so it's like, you know, if I said something in a slang or kind of comical way, he understood what I was saying, that I wasn't saying the like literal meaning. Like if I say you dig, he understood exactly what, and it was like, so what
because what they do is that's what they do. They hooked her up, him, her, shim, whatever. They hooked it up to the internet. So conversations like this, they'll go get that type of language. They got some things censored on her because she was telling the secrets, but now they done censored her. But other than that, that's what they do. They hook her up to the internet. They do TikTok videos. They do these celebrities and stuff like that. It's even to the point where they were sitting up here. It's been on the news where people's children's voice were being copied, and it was calling the parents basically saying like, I need help, mama, or something like that, to where they're thinking their child is kidnapped.
See, you know what? And what that makes me think of is this. I think about like just the fact that it's like our phones. I was like in doing this book and everything, like I said, just research into like the cell phones and everything. Our phones went from being something that, you know, we turned on and off to now they stay on 24 hours a day. Even when you turn your phone off, your phone is still on. Even when your phone does not have a battery in it, if it had a battery in it for like a period of time, your phone will hold enough of a charge as to where the camera will still go through the Wi-Fi system because your Wi-Fi system in your house is not a connector that you
it's a watcher.
Bring devices. Yeah, it's scanning you. It's an electromagnetic scanner. It's scanning you, it's listening, it knows of your heart rate, all of that.
That's why they're telling people now.
Whoa. So you said my Spectrum equipment is scanning me. Now
your TV,
so you trying
your
to say
game system?
Yeah, listen, your Wi-Fi systems. I got 2 reels. Well, it's actually 1 reel. I broke into like 2 parts. That reel has done almost like 500,000 views. Where it talks about how when they were giving out the free Wi-Fi systems, they were giving those free Wi-Fi systems just like they were giving everybody the free cell phones, the Obama phones. You give people these phones and you give them access to a system that you already have compromised. The Wi-Fi system is no different than taking when you send like microwaves. When you send like a wave or something and it's it's like your television. Your television goes.
I can see television, but I can't. Now I'm having a hard time because I do electronics. I know TVs and I know computers. I know you can, and I'm getting into cybersecurity, so I know that part of computers.
Okay, Grizz, look at this. Okay, Grizz, look at this. Okay, Grizz, look at this. Since you're the computer guy, look at this. Every time you look at a smartphone or you look at your monitor, you're looking into what? The Black Mirror.
Yeah.
The Black Mirror. What does the Black Mirror do? The Black Mirror shows you aspects of yourself in a different perspective. That's exactly what the internet does. You look at the internet and you become influenced, and you go into different directions, all based upon how you become influenced. That's how they got us all trapped in the Black Mirror.
All right.
Speaking of Black Mirror, you know, Black Mirror, they had series out already, so they are bringing another one's back. And what you just said, it's they have a new series on Black Mirror now, to where this girl whose whole life played out on the television screen, everything she did that day, it was on her television screen. So everybody in her, you know, click like, how you get on TV? It's because yeah, everything is being watched. We have eyes in the skies on the traffic cameras. Everything is being watched right now.
And you know what? I told everybody this. I said this as a joke, and I scared myself now when I think about it. I said, man, when they started, like, you know what I'm saying, cutting off writers, not talking about the writer's strike, but just when they in the advent of them making reality shows where you just had to take a camera and you put a bunch of scripted situations on a bunch of real people that's drunk in a house. When they started doing that, and when they got popular, it took away from like anybody having to have any type of real talent, any type of real, like, you know what I'm saying, substance on television. I said, okay, then what happened? You started seeing cops. You started seeing all these other things. Just taking
I just
cameras.
said that. It's wild that you're saying this.
And you know what? And like you said, the next level is like that girl. You see your life on television.
Your face, your likeness. When you tap into some of these things, like that Lensa app, don't nobody read the disclaimer. The AI app, all of that. It says to use your pictures. They are now not yours. They are hers. So she can use you however she wants to. So I keep calling her a she, but anywho. But it's crazy that you just said that about all the reality TV shows, because I was just thinking that the other day, scrolling through TV, trying to find something to watch. And I thought the same thing, like, why is everything reality or demonic or about like cops, 911, 9/11, Hawthorne, emergency rooms? Everything is about panicking. Everything is about causing some type of outrage. You don't see anything about love anymore. And that's what I was looking for, some kind of love, you know, type of show. You don't even see that. Even the ones where they try to set you up.
But you know what? I'm gonna tell you something. And I'm glad you said that, because I was telling somebody like a while ago, I was like, we haven't had love songs. We don't have love stories. I said now love has been redefined,
monetized,
as a form of like chaos. Like nobody is really in love. People only want what they want from the situation. Sex and money, whatever comes along with it, just comes along as, you know what I'm saying, as the like theatrics and the drama. But it's like they don't even focus on love anymore. Most things that we see are now more like just like microwave situations, where it's like they put people in these like superficial situations. It's like even in the music, the program. That's the reason that I tell people music is the most important. It's even more important than what you see on television, because if you don't like something you're seeing, you can close your eyes. If you don't like something you're hearing, music is like unapologetic. Sound is going to always make it through. It takes you a while to block out sound, and you have to actually, like, you know what I'm saying, practice that. And you still sound. So they notice sound, and that's the reason, like you said, everything is demonic. Everything is demonic, and I don't even think we look at how demonic it is. I was looking at just fashion with like just the ladies' fingernails are now all claws and like talons.
Because the reason of that being,
hey, keep it real, bro. I
yeah.
just been eggs.
But the
Let y'all
reason
go.
why,
I'm gonna close it out. He's speaking truth.
yeah, and the reason why is
Damn it,
because
I'm tired of these fucking women.
What?
Looking like parrots and shit. The fuck? Like an eagle. I'm about to swoop down on you, Grizz, pick you up.
He said, I'm tired of these effing women.
I know, dang, I am sitting here. Shit.
I know, sweetheart, you're an exception. You the natural. You got natural beauty.
Okay, thank you.
But nah, our females are good though. Our females are good.
But what they're doing to the females is that the females, like with the long hair, the painted eyes, the way the eyes look and enhance, they are mimicking different deities, different female goddess deities.
Thank you.
And this is what our women, yes, honey, I'm on the women train too. I'm with you some of the time, but you can't put us all in the box. But yes, this is why our women are out here doing the things that they're doing. It's because they're being manipulated and possessed into these deities that they're sitting up here idolizing.
Yep.
Man,
I just seen a post on Facebook that said, I'm sorry.
No,
I just seen a post on Facebook that said, the people who idolize celebrities are the most unintelligent. So,
so when you say idolize, you talking about the ones that the butterflies that start screaming and crying, all of that bull crap.
The ones that took the baby daddy's money and bought the Beyonce tickets, stuff like that.
What happened? Wait, what?
This girl, her husband's son, not her son, but her husband's son was sick and he was saving up for his surgery, and the girl took the money and bought a Beyonce ticket.
Shut up.
Oh, yeah, I read about that.
Yeah,
I read about that.
Yeah,
that wasn't made up.
No, it's not made up. That's what's the look. It's stupidity.
Y'all know what though? Y'all know what scared me for real? And it's
What's
like
that?
not many things like really like, you know what I'm saying, shake me, but it's like it really shook me when Beyonce came out and she was sitting on the horse, on the pale horse. And it's like I'm looking at this.
Go check that. She sat on all the horses. Check it. That's how you knew that we was coming into what we was.
Like, I just, and you know what? Like you said, I'm tripping off the fact that it's like she's put so much into her image of all of these deities and everything going on, and it's like I see it, other people see it, and it's like I'll put it like this: most of the public, even if they're not as open as like the rest of us, if they're not, if common sense isn't on, they're still diet woke. They're still diet woke to the fact to where it's like they can see certain things and they know something just ain't right, but yet you love this celebrity so much you just go along with it.
Hey, and nobody paid attention to her concert.
You know what? I'm going to cut you off, Nadia, but this right here is very dear to me because I've tried to explain to my daughter and my wife that she is not to be fooled with. That pale horse, I tried to explain to them what that symbolizes and what that is, and they, you know what they tell me? Oh, Daddy, you just a YouTuber. Babe, you just a YouTuber. You believe anything on YouTube, and I'm
Grizz, you know what it is? Hold up, Grizz. You know what it is? Know what it is? It's a spell, honestly.
Right.
No play. It's a spell. Us straight men, we ain't finna get it. It's it gets some women and it get gay dudes. They be like, you know what I'm saying, loyal fans, they be out there. I said something bad about her one time. I didn't say nothing bad, like, you know what I'm saying, per se. I just brought up something. Man, I had the beehive on me for like 2 weeks.
Hey, if our other co-host, if Ivy was here, she need Ivy. If you paying any attention, honey, we love you to death, and we know you want to beehive, but you need to look at this. You need to come back to your show. Can't wait for you to come back, but you need to get away from that platform.
But look at her shows. The last shows that she has been doing. I was telling my brother and his wife, they went to the Beyonce show. They came here to Atlanta to see it. But a lot of people weren't paying attention. It's a portal that sits right back there. And nobody believes that. So my brother brought me the proof. He said, I thought you was lying. And his wife said, thank God I fell asleep in the concert. But yes, it's a portal. And that's what they're doing, sitting up here, possessing people, putting spells on people.
But you know
that's what Shakespeare was all about.
But you know what? When I tell people, go to a concert, concert just means, like, you know what I'm saying, brought together, concerted energy. This is where when they bring out this artist ain't just about to walk across stage or whatever, so and so. No, like you said, you see her, Travis Scott, when they put on these shows, there's always a portal. There's always a portal. And the conquerors are always enticed to come through the portal. They always say, let's go on a journey. And when you go on a journey. They all have portals. Nobody is paying any type of attention to that. But I'm glad that she brought that up. But yeah, you're looking at.
All right. So let me ask y'all this. We as long as we've been on the GRIZZBIZMY2SENSE for real. So it must be damn good. So we probably get a lot of views. So we had some people chime in. But for the sake of rounding it up quickly, not quickly, because I can go on to Andrew. But what is the end game, y'all? We got this information. We put it out here. We trying to. What is the end game for the system? Where are we going? Everything you calculated, or you know, this supposed to happen. This supposed to happen. Where do we go? How do we prepare? And what do y'all say is going to happen? What type of calamity do y'all think is going to happen in the near future that's going to shake the foundation of the United States?
Well, first off, go back to what Timothy and you all were speaking on about why. I was going to say this for last, the best for last. Why in the end game is when we get rid of all these lizards that's kidnapping these children. That's when this is over with, because this is what this is all about. It's about these kids. And I don't understand why. Do y'all know that back in the spring, 50 kids or so went missing in Cleveland? Did y'all once hear it on the media, in the news? No. Kids.
It wasn't even just 50 though, because way before that, it was like almost like 100 of them coming up missing per week, because they said that Ohio has like this kind of exit strategy that gets these kids out without being seen.
Hold up. Y'all know what?
They do. Yeah, they do.
I want to say something real quick.
Epstein had a mansion in Ohio too, by the way.
Hey, and check this out. I was watching a bunch of documentaries, listening to a bunch of podcasts about like the forest, right? We got, you know what I'm saying, Mount Airy Forest, and we got a bunch of other forests. Forests are the only places, like forests and stuff like that, inside of, like, you know what I'm saying, a city area, that they're not mapped from the sky. When you look at it through like Google Earth and stuff like that, they just show you these dense, they make it up CGI. They show you trees and dense stuff like that, but they never actually show you what's there. That's cause if you look up parks and you look up recreation and you look up forest in the legal dictionary and under, like, you know what I'm saying, legal statutes, what these actually are is their restricted grounds. They don't say what goes on these restricted grounds. I used to always think, if you want to take devil's advocate, if you want to move people, Ohio, the heart of it all, if you want to move people out of sight, a bunch of, you know what I'm saying, minors or whatever, so and so, how do you get people without folks seeing them? You take them into these dense, unmapped forests and parks in the deep regions where you probably got something already set up, something that's already been there in place forever. How they moving them out? That's the way I think they're doing it. That's the reason I'm glad.
Well, keep game. That's why you see a lot of trees and stuff around schools as well. It's because that's going to be the next step on the what to do. They're coming for our children. They can't stay young. They can't stay alive without the children. So this is why.
Exactly.
And if you go look into your executive orders, your Supreme Court orders for HR 899, it's to abolish the Board of Education and let the government take over. And then they're putting all these clinics up in our children's school where they're pulling them into the office and saying, hey, you want to be a girl?
Yeah.
We won't tell, don't go home and tell your parents. They're doing that in Ohio right now.
Yeah.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. They really are.
Well,
So it's all, it is about the kids. It's an objection. Everything that they got going on is all a plot and a plan and a twist. But in order to see what is going on, you have to learn how to combat your mind. You have to learn how to control what they are putting in your mind. Even if you get a negative thought, sing something, take it away so that you can learn how to combat your mind. Because I know these gentlemen that's on here right now, what I can do is you can even go into your spiritual rest where you're sleeping, and you can also manipulate how your dream can come out. You can actually touch and see things now as if you weren't able to do it before. Like he was speaking of the simulation and everything. It's because that's what everything is about, and about how you have to get to your higher plane. And that's where we was talking about last week, where what's coming, you have to have that Christ-like mentality in your head so that you can survive what's coming.
Yep. And just like the guy, what's your name, bro?
October.
The guy, they call you October? Okay. And like October was saying about everything with the circus and entertainment, that ties into the real reason, which is snatching up these kids.
Yeah.
That's why these athletes get paid millions of dollars. What, the dunk a ball? Jesus. It's to cover up the fact, the kids. And that's why everything is, the question is why? It's because they want to keep from us knowing that they want our kids. And that's why kids go missing in America. What, about 400-some thousand kids go missing every year?
Probably, and triple that.
Yeah, that's just a ridiculous amount.
Not only that, they're taking our black men out, 25 and younger. So you're having all these stories coming out, like the situation with the young brother who was supposed to be ran over by the police and and was buried. When he was buried, they told his mama, you have to pay us $250 just so we can exhume his body. So the day she gets there to exhume his body, it's on TV right now. The day she gets there to exhume his body's not there. And this is not one case that's going like this, and it's happening in Pennsylvania. So
you touched on a good topic.
Like
You
Kendrick,
did. They've been taking us out. They've been killing us. These sundown towns, y'all. We don't discuss that in the black community a lot. That's what's going on. We enter in these sundown towns, and they taking us off the map too. They've been
the
killing
richest
blacks.
the richest white man in the world, he survived by getting hearts from indigenous people.
Mm-hmm.
We're more superior for them. Right. Exactly. And Get Out, Skeleton Keys, all of that. They put it right in our face. Like, yeah, we'll shift it to your body real quick. That's why you see some of these celebrities, like y'all was saying. Look at NBA YoungBoy. Look how he came back.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you something.
Look at Gucci Mane. Look at Jay-Z. Look at Jay-Z. Jay-Z look like
black.
But y'all know what?
Yeah, they all look weird.
This is nothing new. But this is not anything new. Okay, I'm gonna say this, and it's gonna probably flip y'all like crazy. Look at our society right now, right? Where we think we are, where we seeing people that look like other folk, that look kind of like they used to look and everything, and we got smartphones and we got cars and all of that, yada yada yada. And look at the buildings. Now, look back at the buildings years ago, which were much more complicated. And you see people that look like some of these same folks right now. You see
a lot of them do. A lot of them.
Because what I think that we're seeing happening, I think that we're seeing people, and it's because this is just me. I think that you're seeing people. Sometimes you have these entities, and these entities, they jump from time
body
to time.
shifting.
They move on through time, and that's why you can go back and you can see a photo of an old drug dealer years ago that looks just like Jay-Z.
Yeah.
Or you see people that look like other folks, or you see everything. I just think that it's like these entities, these energies or whatever, some people are better and they know how to basically reincarnate themselves back, or they can basically reincarnate parts of themselves where you may actually see some of the image of the person because you're just a consciousness, expressing itself. So if that's the way this consciousness says it looks, then you're going to see it.
So October, I want to ask you a question. So, like I was talking about Hollywood. Do everybody know that the 26 stars represented on the Paramount sign are the fallen angels?
And you know,
okay,
yes,
so
ma'am.
the fallen angels, they landed on Mount Para. That's why you got Paramount, right? So with that being said, don't you think those your body shifters? Look at it, count all the top celebrities, like you said.
Yes.
And it was 26 of them.
Look,
what did you just say? Body shifters.
Body shifting.
So they gotta be demons then.
Of course. The Anunnakis is fallen demons.
Okay. But y'all know what? I'm gonna tell y'all something though. But honestly, on the real, I think that it's like we take too much and we think about these ancient demons and stuff like that. Look at it like this. What would a modern demon think like? What would a modern demon think like? A modern demon wouldn't think like, ancient times. A modern demon would find some way to implement themselves into things. This is why I tell everybody everything is now on demon time. All the black celebrities are, I'm on demon time. I'm so-and-so, this, and that. It's this pervasive mind state as to where, like she said, you'll have people that look like somebody from like a while ago. Like when you see these folks, whoever you see right now, that you can find some type of you think this person is, weird or whatever, whatnot. You could go back and find photos of like some famous person that was probably evil as hell. and they look just like this person. It's because that's that same resident entity just replicating itself.
Well, remember that the Star Wars trilogy. What was the last one? Attack of the Clones.
Attack of the Clones.
That showed you right there. Everybody's a clone, and their clones are coming back. Because I always felt October, Grizz, and is it Nadia or Nadine?
Nadia.
Your name? Nadia. I always said those celebrities, those high value entertainers, celebrities, they're not amongst us.
No.
Like you were saying, October, CGI, AI, and all that, them people are nowhere around us. They're somewhere else.
And you know what?
Those politicians, the Hillary Clintons and all them, if they ain't dead, they ain't around here. They ain't in these parts.
And you know what? I'm glad
you spark up. I was with y'all until y'all said, I ain't knocking it, but this the clones. Like, man.
Hold up, but listen though, Grizz, I'm gonna tell you this. I look at it like this, like she was saying about, you know what I'm saying, Hollywood. Hollywood is not a good thing. This is what we have to basically realize. Hollywood is not a good thing. And we have to go back to our basics. We got to go back to like, you know what I'm saying, a grandma's Bible. What did the devil say? He was going to make evil look fair seeming. Hollywood looks like the place to be. All the most celebrated people, the stars, you know, everything like that. And what do we see now in the age that we're in now, the age of like exposure, the information age, where you can like find out everything. We're finding out everything about like these folks and this
But not only that, they exposed themselves. They have a whole 60-minute episode on how they cloned the Hollywood children. And they had it connect and sitting in front of the TV to make the facial expressions and do all of that. They've been telling us they've been cloning.
You know what? There's a website that's called thispersondoesnotexist.com.
What?
Where it's like, I am the rabbit hole, dog. I am the rabbit hole. Hey, listen,
that's how I feel. I'm the rabbit hole. I'm in there. I'm digging it.
This website, every time you refresh the page, they show you a different face, right?
Oh wow.
Saying, oh, that look like my cousin. That look like you know, so and so. No, it ain't. It's taking faces from, like you said, when the AI scans everybody's face, it's taking all of our faces and it's basically randomizing everybody's face and making people. There's a commercial on television about children and, you know, child hunger, where they show like a little girl sitting and you know, she's talking about, you know, child hunger. Right. If you watch that girl's face, it changes. The scene change. The same people that did This Person Does Not Exist .com also produced that same commercial. It's the same.
This person does not exist. We will not go to that website. I want to go so bad, but I don't want to go so bad. I want to go look. I want to type it in, but I don't want to go.
It's gonna be litty, bro, because I get a chance to be my weird self amongst some other weirdos like myself. So I'm in good company. Common sense.
Well, y'all.
What to say? Join the club.
But we're gonna have to get out of here and go to part 2, 3, 4, 5.
I was about to say this gonna have to be a to be continued.
Yeah, all the time.
Oh yeah,
welcome on the show.
They had me blocked coming in, man. I couldn't get in on the first part of the show, man. I spent the first half hour trying to get in on my laptop, my tablet, and 2 different cell phones, man. I had to try everything. It took
what
me
I tell people to do next time is copy it and paste it, and that's how it's better to do it that way.
Yeah.
That's what's up. But I appreciate y'all coming on. You're welcome anytime.
Yes,
Ready to come
thank
on
y'all
one of
for
y'all
coming.
platforms. Make your way down the way here. You know what I'm saying? I know you be out the way with them folks. Make your way back to the city. You know what I'm saying? So we all can link up. Nadia, make sure you get yourself up here.
I am. And Mr. October, can I reach out to you?
Yeah, no problem. No problem.
Because you said something and I need to ask about it.
No problem.
Shouts out to Nicola's jumped in for a minute. You know, she out getting the paper.
Right.
Shouts out to Ivory, the Aries.
Hey, co-host.
Yes, so she'll be back. But next week, I don't even know what we're gonna do next week. We didn't talk about so much stuff this week. Like this Wednesday, like damn, we even went an hour. We ain't never did no hour GRIZZBIZ. I be in and out.
Hey, that was two. I thank y'all for coming because I was really nervous to do it by myself because they've been gangbanging up on me on Facebook. So
yeah, shout out to Timothy Moriarty to him. He always got some vital information. Like I said, we are welcome anytime to go over there, whatever, and jump in on his platform. Everybody, we networking, sharing. You know what I'm saying? Keep it in the loop and do what we do. We definitely gonna get out of here, man. And like I say, every Wednesday, like we say every Wednesday, don't be
stuck on stupid and relaxed on dumb.
When I'm outside, my head be swiveling hard. Never really seen this shit go far. Gas me up before I get in the car. I told my mom that a kid is a star. Don't put me in it if I am not involved. I'm trying to break my falls. Simultaneously facing my flaws. Take a breath, need a second, press pause. Forever thankful.